Good day to our amazing listeners, and welcome back to another insightful episode of Sphere Rocket Podcast Network. Once again, I'm your host, Sweet, and for today's episode, we will be having a talented hired VAs and, of course, explore the beautiful life of remote work. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to know our guests a little bit better. Further ado, and let's kick things off with a glimpse about your experience on how did you find out about Sphere Rocket, and what are your favorite moments when you finally landed the client and your experience basically with Sphere Rocket.
Okay. So for start, basically, I started becoming a virtual assistant. I think it was 2020.
Mhm.
So I decided to become a virtual assistant because of the pandemic when it really hit us. I was working as a supervisor on Robinson's Appliances, and then I think I
Mm.
was just 1 week duty from reset from training, and then I got started a duty on store like I think 1 week. Then the pandemic happened, so there's
Oh.
a quarantine and that. Well, and for actually we were very fortunate because the company still gave us our salary even though we were not going to the stores like for almost 2 months. But it kind of get me thinking like, what if there is no salary? I have a one child, so I need to
Yeah.
support him. So then I was thinking how can I get an extra income, and then I suddenly remembered my sister was also a VA, like he was a content write in content writing. So I asked her about what is the VA stuff or something. So
Yeah.
and then fortunately my other sister also tried becoming a VA. So I he teach me everything and teach me like bookkeeping first. So I was part time to work, part time from my usual work, and then at night I am part time to doing task tour. So actually she was giving me a salary, but it's not that much high since I was just training. And then after that, I decided to apply for a VA. So there, I tried searching on the internet. So mainly the requirements are sometimes higher than because I don't have that quite experience about becoming a VA. So, but I managed to kind of see Spear Rocket that they are like taking applicants that is new to the like the transition to it to becoming a VA. So I applied, and then I think by October 2022, I got hired on my first client, which is Texas Rock Solid. So they're
Mm.
from Austin, Texas. It was very challenging since the first job that I got there is an estimator. So mainly
Oh.
I am not a graduate of engineering or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was very new to me because I know I was like going into accounting department, but suddenly when we were doing the training, then suddenly the slides come up and then showing houses, the interior designs, the blueprints. So I was like, what? I was thinking
Yeah.
like, I think I'm in the wrong department. So, but our boss told me, no, you're in the right department. So we really tried to understand the basics of it. So 1 week we managed to learn the basics on estimating and so on and so forth. So yeah, it kind of give you some encouragement since you are learning new skills. It was the first time of me looking on plans and knowing how to read plans on just by looking
Yeah.
on it. Yeah, it was very challenging. So even to my other workmates that was also estimator, and it was their first time, it was very challenging. So the thing about becoming a virtual assistant, the good thing about becoming a virtual assistant is one, you are just in your comfort of your house. You're not going outside since because of the pandemic, right? You are safe inside your house. So mainly your expenses are much less than the normal kind of job. Yeah,
Mhm.
no travel, no stress. Number two, yeah, in number two, in the classic setup of a work environment, there are toxic employees. You cannot script them out or strip them out on the picture. So becoming a virtual assistant, so it lessens the stress. You are just here on yours. And the third is the pay, the salary. It's much higher. It's much way higher than the normal salary. I was like having, I think my salary was just like 15, and I was a supervisor there. But on becoming a virtual assistant, it's much more. Yeah. I even had the money to provide my son's operation. It was like here in because of becoming a virtual assistant. That's one of the positive things that happened to me. And most likely will sometimes you will be overwhelmed because you are like the salary that you are the income that is coming to you is much more, and you are just working like the same hours, same 8 hours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one another thing is it kind our boss in our boss in Texas Rockstar is very, very, what you call this, yeah,
Yeah,
very,
very rich. Yeah.
very galante,
Generous.
generous.
Generous. Yeah.
So the first generosity that I got from him is number one was Thanksgiving. He gave
Oh, wow.
us a
Mhm.
additional, how much was it? I think it was worth 5,000 pesos. He told us
Nice.
that's from me a Thanksgiving to you. Like he wanted me to take my family to dinner. So that's what I did. I took the 5,000 pesos and then treat them into a dinner in a restaurant. So it was really, really, it was really for me, 5,000 is really big, and it's like given to you just like that, right? The second one is, I think it was in November. I think our boss, like treated us to what you call this, Baguio.
Oh. Mhm.
All of his VAs. It was our first time to meet each other, but we really bonded there, even though we were just
Yeah.
looking at the screen. So he was like, I think it was 3 days in Baguio, free everything. The meals, the hotel, everything was free. And then he gave us an extra money, like in the US it's much different, like $1,000 there, like for a meal. He like he how
Wow.
much was it? It was like almost 80 or 60. He gave us that kind of money, and he said you need to spend it like one dinner. And I was like, we couldn't spend that one in just one dinner.
Really generous indeed.
He's he's really generous indeed. Like we tried to our best expending it in our meals. Like I think the highest meal that we bought was like 7,000 all. That's the
Yeah.
highest, and we're really full. And then it's not yet gonna accommodate the whole amount.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We were really, really. He's really generous to his VAs, especially if you really need to like work really hard for him, because if he sees that you are really working hard, he will really take good care of you. And
Yeah.
the first time that we meet our boss is like April, March. It was March
Oh. Mhm.
2023. Yeah. He went for the first time, and we went to Boracay.
Oh, wow. That was
We-
really great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
We went to Boracay, and it was like 1 week, I think, or more than 1 week. And we really prepared for it, and we made like a special presentation when he comes to the room, and like we really introduced ourselves to them. And
So you guys are on leave for like 1 week
yeah,
at that
one
time?
week. Yes,
Oh,
and
wow.
we were on leave on 1 week, and he said you're still getting paid even though you're on leave. Yeah, so he's
Wow.
really generous there. We really enjoyed there, and we really, really enjoyed in Boracay. Almost every night we were partying at the bar, drinks, free
Yeah.
breakfast. Yeah. And one day, and the best thing I think that it kind of opened my mindset that I could really be a good this would be a really good industry if I really focused on becoming a
Yeah.
virtual assistant. Yeah, since I can almost like, you know, if you compare it to a salary of a teacher, it's much more on like a principal salary.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's much higher than the usual.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and the good thing that it really brought me is financially. It's really I can buy many things for my son. I can provide all of the things that he needs, school, without even worrying that much on each month paying the bills. Now, now I move out of the house because I know I can take care of myself because I know I have this kind of job. Now I'm renting now on my own place now. So mainly it's kind of that kind of mindset that you need to move out of the house because you can take care of yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really great. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing all of your highlights with your experience with Sphere Rocket and also your highlights as, of course, a VA. Really, a lot of good things indeed
Yes.
happen to you when you become a VA. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing that,
Yeah.
Fernando. And yeah, do you want to add anything else?
I think I'm just gonna add a little bit like
Sure.
those who want to be aspiring VAs. I think the main advice that I could give to them is the first step is the most hardest one that you need to do, especially from the transition of normal office work to this kind of setup. There are challenges that you will meet, like for example, the working hours is much more different. You will feel
Yeah.
really sleepy, but in a few months, I don't know, you get by it and you can adapt to it. Don't worry about it. The thing is the the thing the, the thing that I really think I really that made me decide to become a VA because the experiences that happened in my life before. I've been like in situations like really we were just eating two times a day. So when I had this chance, I really grabbed it. Yeah.
Love that. That's awesome, Fernando. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing a piece of advice to also our aspiring VAs for sure. A lot of our listeners right now also are considering to be a VA. And yeah, and that there you go, folks. That is Fernando, his highlights and journey as a VA. I know for sure, or I hope that you have learned something from him and you've been inspired. I was inspired by you, Fernando. Yeah, and before we jump into our next segment, let's have a quick commercial.
Ever dreamed of swapping your hectic office for a comfy home workspace? At Sphere Rocket VA, we make that dream a reality. Say goodbye to rush hours and hello to remote work. Enjoy more time with family, more time for yourself, all while building your career. Interested? Apply now at www.spherejobs.ph.
All right, and we're back still here with Fernando, and it's time for our lightning round. So, Fernando, lightning round are just quick and fun questions. So, are you ready?
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome. And yeah, which do you prefer, day off or bonus pay?
Pay off or bonus pay? I think bonus pay.
Bonus pay, yeah. And favorite social media platform?
That's easy. Like I usually use Facebook.
Facebook. And voice or non voice?
For me, I think a little bit of both, but if you don't like taking calls, you can go for non-voice.
Love that. And what's your go to midnight snack?
Midnight snack. Yeah, midnight snack.
Yeah, love that. Coffee or tea?
None. I am not allowed food to those two.
Like,
Yeah,
okay.
I might end up in a hospital. Yeah.
And yeah, dream country to visit.
Dream country. I think one is New Zealand.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, New
And
Zealand.
what is your most expensive purchase?
For that I bought,
Yeah.
I think clothes for my son is worth like almost 10,000 all in all. Yeah.
That's great. And one word to describe Sphere Rocket.
Awesome.
Awesome, love that. And one word to describe your experience as a VA.
Chico. I think one I can is majestic.
Majestic. Wow, lovely word. And yeah, and that's a wrap for today's episode. And before I end this, Fernando, if you want to give a shout out and express gratitude to anyone, I'm giving you the floor.
Okay. So I think I'm gonna give thanks to the CEO of Spear Rocket for putting his office in the Philippines and mainly giving chance to those Filipino aspirants of becoming a virtual assistants under Spear Rocket. And I would also give thanks to the HR department that are catering the applicants. Without them, we cannot find some clients, or they're the ones that are looking for clients for us.
Love that. Thank you so much, Fernando. And yeah, thanks to you too for sharing your insights and experiences with us. And yeah, and once more, that's our episode for today. And stay connected with us on our social medias. And stay tuned for more exciting episode of Sphere Rocket Podcast Network. Again, my name is Sweet, and until next time, stay productive, stay positive, and keep reaching for the stars.
Do you want to apply as a Sphere Rocket virtual assistant? Well, look no further because this video is for you. I will be telling you which requirements you will need to submit in order to apply to our new website, plus a few tips and tricks to help you with your initial interview. We have achieved a better way for you to send in your application, so let's begin. Step 1. Visit our website
at www.spherejobs.ph.
Step 2. Fill in the application by inputting your full name, email, number, and other questions that you will need to answer in order to move on to the next step. Step number 3. Send screenshots of your updated CV, Tony Robbins PDF result, internet speed screenshot with a minimum of 10 Mbps, a scanned copy of your government ID, and your portfolio with sample works. Step 4. Click the submit button and wait patiently for our email. Now here are some tips on how to stand out during your initial interview. Tip number 1. Dress up as if you were going to an in-person interview. Wearing something formal will give the interviewer a sign that you are serious about applying to this job role. Tip number 2. Find a quiet space where your interview will be held. There's nothing worse than getting distracted by the noise around you and not being able to understand what the interviewer is saying. Tip number 3. Be yourself and show up as confidently as you can. Know what you bring to the table and honor your worth. Interested in becoming a part of our team? Submit your application now
At www.spherejobs.ph.
Good luck!